Hey, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for taking our time and joining the virtual book launch. My name is Prashant Mohan. All right, so let's get started. First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I know I can see people from different parts of the world as well, and it's almost about to get midnight there, and still you made an effort to join in. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank InfosecTrain for hosting this event, and the entire team has worked really hard in behind the scene in hosting this event and also making sure that the book actually get ready in the readable format and it can be delivered in the timely manner. Now, like you all know, probably you must have seen one of my earlier posts almost a couple of months back when I actually released the cover page. So this is what is all about. So Cyrus, it's gonna be a kind of, so most of the times I used to hear the question that when exactly you're going to publish something similar to that you have already published about CISSP, that's Memory Palace. Now, it actually made me thinking that yes, because Certified Cloud Security Professional, this certification that is offered by IC Square, it does have a great resources, but the number of resources are relatively less as compared to your CISSP examination. Now, that actually made me think, what if I go ahead and get something produced which might be helpful for the readers or cloud security aspirants who are willing to take CCSP examination. Okay, well, Cyrus is actually the name given on the clouds. It's a kind of a cloud that you would real that you can see at it's a very high level, and the aircraft that you can see here at the top right corner, that's also the build. The manufacturer is your Cyrus. So this is a Cyrus model. Now, the purpose of getting these two included in one picture was to make sure that this is a cloud certification, and it is going to give you a very high level understanding of your certified cloud security professional examination. This is just a little bit about myself. I'm working as a senior security architect with a global financial tech organization, and I've been into this industry for more than a decade now, precisely more than 11 years. And 2 years back, I authored one of the study guide that's called as Memory Palace. Now, people who have read Memory Palace or probably might have seen or taken the CISSP examination and got a chance to read Memory Palace. For those, thank you so much. It's been a great journey for the feedback, comments, and the appreciation that I've been getting the last 2 years. And book, the Cyrus, is actually based on the very similar fundamental. It's going to give you a very high-level perspective. You need to know the subject first, and then you can use this document or the guide to make sure that you actually concrete your concepts for presenting into the examination. I've also been a kind of a part-time speaker, instructor of for security, and actually it's been more than 3 years that I've been talking and discussing the journey of this a lot of security aspirants who are willing to take either the CISSP certification or CCSP certification, or probably they might want to change their career path. They were working as something else previously, and now they want to move their career to security. So I've been really fortunate to know a lot of people across the globe, and few people are still around, and we still in the touch. So this is in fact the best perk that I've got after clearing my CISSP almost like more than 3 years back. I'm gonna give you a brief glimpse about Cyrus, what exactly the Cyrus is going to, or how it is going to help you. Now, the entire book is, and if you happen to take your CCSP certification in a while, and if you have already looked into the course material, they all include the detailed explanation of the concepts that you need to know from an examination perspective. Well, what I've done, I've taken all the concepts that is needed from an examination outline perspective, which is presented by IC Square. Every 3 years, they keep on updating the examination outline. So I have picked up the topics from the examination outline and took an inspiration from the already books which are written by the great authors Adam Gordon, Ben Maliswell, and many more. Daniel Carter is also one of them. Took an inspiration from their content and tried to explain the concept in a very simpler way. The entire book actually includes a lot of graphical illustration because I, being an architect, I know how easy it would be if you actually convert the one paragraph into a form of image, and it is going to just it is definitely going to help you in understanding or probably even remembering the concept for a very long time. That's how human brain works. I mean, it's not true, or it's not a kind of an universal truth for everyone, but certainly it is going to help for a lot of people, because not everyone is avid reader, and not everybody is fond of reading those 500 or 600 pages. Okay, and in case if you have already used Memory Palace, you would realize that I tend to include a lot of examination tips which you might find it helpful from an examination perspective. So this is how I've just included a couple of snapshots here, and you can find the examination tips across the entire domains, and it has been included in the red text. And it is how exactly you need to use those examination tips. You need to use or probably keep these things in mind while you're either attempting the questions, or probably in your practice test, or probably even in your real examination. So the reason I've kept these examination tips, which is a kind of a crux of the entire paragraph or entire topic or a concept that you need to understand. Okay, one thing differently that has been done in this particular book as compared to the Memory Palace, I've included several examination essentials. Now, these exam essentials are actually included to make sure that these are the topics that you need to pay extra attention from an examination perspective. Okay, now it is included across the 6 domains, and it is going to cover the topics or important topics which you might need to pay extra attention from an examination perspective. Now, this is nowhere by any means we are trying to violate the NDA or the code of ethics by IC Square. This is just the high level topics that you, and probably if you pay close attention, it actually includes almost like 80% of the content of the domain that you would be reading it. Okay, and this has been included in all the domains, like all the 6 domains. It includes your examination essential that you might want to pay extra focus on from an examination perspective. Okay, now there comes an important question: where exactly we can read this book, or how do I get this book, or from where exactly we need to purchase it? Well, okay, sorry. Now, before that, we actually need to understand this book does not replace the official guide. And it is a kind of disclaimer that I've also included in the book. Do not use this book as your primary material. Okay, it is just to used as your reference material to ensure that you have understood the concept and revalidate that you know the concept. Okay, it is expected that you know the core material first. You need to read the CBK or the official study guide, or probably all in one. Doesn't matter which book you need to choose. Okay, first of all, you need to read the primary book. You can use this book as a reference. Okay, and it is going to help you in understanding the concept. It is going to include all the concepts handy at one place. All right, now the question is about downloading the book and getting the link, or probably purchasing the book. Well, this book is, you can download free of cost. You just have to simply visit this link. If you want, I can just paste this link into the chat box and you all can click it, and it should be available by now. All right, and the purpose of ensuring that this book is available to everyone across the audience, just to make sure that maximum people can make use of it. Okay, all right, any questions, any doubts, anything that you'd like to ask about the book, or probably the CCSP as a certification? I'm going to open the floor for the questions.
Hello, Prashant.
Hey.
Yeah, hi. My name is Anand. I would like to check with you, like compared to the CISSP preparation, I just completed my CISSP like 3 months back.
Mm-hmm.
How compared to the CISP preparation, what is the level of intensity or the change in the level of intensity when we prepare for CCSP?
Well, considering it's an ISC Square certification, it is going to be almost very similar to your CISSP. Now,
Oh,
the only difference is because your CISSP is very vast, extremely vast. It includes everything that is going to be there in your information security. Well, the content in CCSP is relatively smaller than CISSP. That is the only advantage that you're gonna get. Okay.
okay.
Now, what my recommendation would be, pick up the examination outline, that
Hmm.
is the PDF that IC Square publishes, and try
Okay.
to read those topics from your any kind of official guide. Pick it up CBK all in one, or you can also pick your official study guide. Doesn't matter which guide you pick it up. It is going to be the same, right? So read the topics from examination outline. Try to understand from the official study guide. Practice as many questions, and you should be good. If
Okay.
you
Okay.
already have your CISSP certification, this should be
Yeah.
doable, easily doable.
Okay, okay. Because I have the associate of IC squared because I don't have the enough experience, so I was given the associate of IC squared.
Well, then it's, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you have taken the associate credential or probably CISSP credential, you have passed the exam, That's what
Yes.
take the effort.
Okay.
So this is certainly going to help you.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Hey Prashant, Gautam this side.
Hey, Gautam.
Yeah, I just want to ask, like, what's the primary difference between CCSK and CCSP? I believe both belongs from the same family. Certification has been started from the same authority or same body itself. So, what exactly differs it from CCSK, and what's the primary advantage of going to CSSP apart from CCSK?
So CCSK is governed by your Cloud Security Alliance, and your CCSP is actually governed by your IC Square. Now, the primary difference I would say is of the cost and is of the because I think CCSK they give you an offer that once you have paid, you can take the examination twice on the same money. It's different in your CCSP. So, just in case someone is not able to pass the exam, they again have to pay the examination fees and go ahead with that. Now, from a kind of a coverage perspective, your CCSP has taken a lot of inspiration from CCSK. A lot of topics that are included in your CCSP, they are actually included in CCSK as well. Well, the primary focus of CCSP is that it is a vendor neutral certification. Okay, it doesn't talk about any specific cloud service provider, be it AWS, Azure, or GCP, and it is beneficial for both the sides. Someone who is a customer who is subscribing for cloud services on what exactly or how do you evaluate the security posture for any kind of a cloud service provider, and it is also beneficial for if someone who is at the other side of the code, who is actually a cloud service provider, how exactly they need to ensure they isolate their customers or probably provide better security for their customers who are subscribing for their services. So it is from both the perspective. It is going to make sure in case if you're writing a contract, what are the things that needs to be included in the contractual agreement, or in case if you're writing a service level agreement, what are the things that you need to include, what are the key points that you need to keep in mind once you're actually subscribing or probably signing up the contract, what kind of due diligence you need to perform before subscribing any kind of a service provider. That's the only difference. The CCSP is kind of a vast. It talks about a lot of legal implication as well, because your cloud is omnipresent. It is present everywhere. So there are a lot of legal jurisdiction that is being talked in your CCSP, which I don't think it is completely or in detailed covered in your CCSK.
Okay, thanks for that information.
Sure.
Hi Prashant, Rustam this side.
Hey.
I have one question regarding the CCSP questions practice materials. So, what are the good sources of questions available for CCSP? Because I understand for CISP perspective, there are so many materials available,
Right.
books, online questions, but how to go for CCSP practice? Thanks.
So CCSP practice questions, and I agree with your point that there are very limited resources which are available. So what I can think of, there are two primary resources that you need to attempt from a practice questions perspective. The first one is the official test bank from IC Square that is authored by Ben Malisow, and another practice test that is given by Daniel Carter. They both are amazing. They both questions are actually kind of very close to your real examination. Okay, and well, the real examination is going to be entirely different. It always and IC Square always tends to surprise the test takers. So the real examination is going to be entirely different. But if you know the concept, if you know the subject properly, and if you have practiced the question, so practicing question just it actually tells you the way you need to answer the question from an IC Square perspective, because IC Square has a certain way of understanding what exactly the knowledge they are trying to test. And the second benefit that you get is whatever the concept that you have read, it is going to validate that if you have understood the concept or not, right? In the real examination, it is going to ask you to apply those concepts that you have read. That's the benefit that you can get. But yes, the two resources that I can suggest is your IC Square official test bank for CCSP, and another one is from All-in-One, which is authored by Daniel Carter.
Thanks, Prashant.
Sure.
Yeah. Hello, Prashant. I have one more question. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, compared to CISSP, is CCSP also a computer adaptive test?
No, it's linear. It's linear.
Oh.
and you would have a leverage of in case if you are not sure in one question, and if you want to make sure that you want to come back to the question, you can simply flag it and come back once you have completed the test. So it is a linear
Oh,
format. It is going to give
okay,
you a great advantage there. So you
okay,
can attempt the questions on at your pace, and then you can come
okay,
back and revisit the questions on which you have doubt.
okay, okay, sure, sure. Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
I have a question. I'm
Yes.
planning to get my career into cloud security. So,
Mhm.
which one do you suggest? Is AWS getting certified in AWS security or CCSP?
See, all the certifications are great. All the certifications have a great contribution in your, not only in your career but also in your knowledge. Now, the reason I always recommend to go ahead with CCSP because it's vendor neutral. I'm going to give you a quick example here. Let's say you're working for an organization which is actually using Azure clouds as of now, and after some time you either your organization is trying to look for some other cloud vendor, or probably you changed your organization which uses AWS or GCP for that matter. Now you have worked in understanding the configuration on how to set up the VMs, or probably how to isolate your VMs as per Azure. Now if you want to go back and understand the things that happens at the GCP or the or AWS level, you need to revisit the concepts again from their perspective. Your CCSP is vendor neutral. It doesn't talks about setting up the VMs and isolating it. It just tells you about what are the key things that you need to keep in mind while you are actually implementing the systems or solutions in either your organization or probably for someone else as your customers. So that is the reason I always recommend CCSP, because it is going to be useful. Doesn't matter if your organization uses AWS or Azure or GCP or any other cloud service provider.
Thanks, Prashant.
Sure. All
Prashant,
right.
Gautam again.
Yes.
Yeah, my only doubt here is like CCSK is also been started by the Cloud Alliance, and CCSP also been partnered with Cloud Alliance by IC
Yes.
Squared to design
Yes.
their code. So
Correct.
what exactly? I just want to understand. Is it more towards the strategic side, like the management side of questions that are coming in the
Yes. Yes.
CCSP, and technical side of questions coming at the CCSK?
Well, it's not completely true that technical questions doesn't come in CCSP, and so the CCSP course or the examination is going to revolve more towards the governance perspective, more towards how exactly you need to think from a management perspective. Okay, because this is what your IC Square is willing to prepare you for. More towards from a how exactly you need to implement cloud security for an entire enterprise, not only from a specific function or a business division, but at an enterprise level. All right. And it actually focuses more on the legal aspect, because considering various laws are applicable. GDPR is there, then you have Australia and New Zealand privacy law, then you have Brazil privacy law, then you have Switzerland privacy law, then you have Russia privacy law, various privacy laws which are going to be discussed in detail in your CCSP, because we need to know about each and every laws while considering cloud, because Russia has their own certain data localization law, right? In case if you're hosting cloud, you need to be very particular about in case if you're either customers or either your employees are the part of the Russian country. So these are the things which are taken more emphasis on your CCSP.
Okay, so more towards the governance side.
Governance and yes, legal aspect. But yes, it doesn't take the credit away that you need to understand how exactly your data center works. So various different multiple tiers of your data centers are there. What exactly tier is actually suitable for which kind of business operations? So these are the things which are needed.
Great. Thanks. Thanks for that
Sure,
clarification.
no problem.
Hi, Prashant. This is Usman here.
Hey.
Prashant, I have one question regarding the syllabus for CCSP. Like you mentioned, IC Square keep on updating their curriculum every 3 years. Where
Mhm.
do you see this CCSP curriculum right now? Are there any dates declared to update the material, or we are in the first year or second year as of?
So it was last updated on August 2019. So it's almost like an year. So it still have 2 years more till the time you can get something new. So in 2022, I'm expecting that they're going to update anything in your CCSP. So they tend to do in every 3 years. So last it was done in August 2019. So it's still valid.
Okay.
whatever it is there.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Prashant.
Sure. Okay. Any more questions on this? All right. Well, thank you so much for attending. I would really encourage everyone to go back and read the book in case if you're willing to or planning to take CCSP. I really welcome the feedback and comments that you all provide. And if you have noticed that since the time Memory Palace was actually launched, and it was a very a kind of a silent, it didn't had any kind of a news or such kind of a launch event for Memory Palace. It was done very silently. I'm truly amazed to see the response of the readers that I've got, and I really encourage that you do give a similar kind of feedback on Cyrus as well. And I do hope that you find it useful, and probably it will help you in passing your CCSP certification. All the very best for your examination, and your feedbacks are most welcome. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much again for taking out time for making this to an event. Thank you. Bye-bye.